So first, I want to talk about mistakes, because my journey going from $0 to $100,000 plus on Upwork has been filled with them. I've been inconsistent, I've written terrible, confusing proposals, and I've even taken on clients that I shouldn't have taken on. But obviously, I'm not perfect, and I'm just trying to learn as I go. But the biggest mistakes that I've made, and the biggest mistakes that I see other people making, come when they're writing proposals. And the reason this is so important is because your proposal is the first thing that a client's gonna see of you. And if you can truly master the skill of writing proposals that convert, you can quite literally print money from your laptop, live wherever you want in the world, and live your dream life. So that's why I want you to watch this video and stick around till the end, because I'm gonna reveal the 5 principles to a winning proposal on Upwork. Before we dive in, I want to make it very, very clear that the goal of our proposals is not to provide every single last detail and answer every single last question that the client may be thinking. No, our goal is much, much simpler than that. The goal with our Upwork proposals is simply to get the client to click on the proposal, read the entire thing, click on our profile, and then send us a message. So with that being said, here are the 5 principles to a winning proposal on Upwork. The first principle that all winning proposals follow on Upwork is that they take the context into account. Now this is especially important if you're just beginning on Upwork. And you need to ask yourself the question, what is the context that people view my proposal within? Right? When they click on my proposal and then they click on my profile, do they see lots of reviews? Do they see client testimonials? Do they see case studies? Do they see that I have lots of money earned on Upwork? Right? Or is it the opposite? Do they see that I have no money, no case studies, and no testimonials? Because depending on which side you fall on, that will change how we actually write our proposals. And like I said, this is especially important if you're just beginning on Upwork. Even if you're super experienced in your industry, maybe you've been offering SEO for 10 plus years, but you're just now getting on Upwork, you still need to mention that right away. And just be honest with people. Tell them that you're super experienced with your service, but you're just now starting out on Upwork. And then give them more and more context so that they can interpret your proposal properly. And this just as well goes for people who have super, super great Upwork profiles and lots of money earned. Mention that you're an Upwork veteran and talk about those things and your experience in your Upwork proposal. Principle number 2 is social proof. Above all, your proposals need to have some element of social proof in them. Whether that's reviews, case studies, client interviews, testimonials, talking about big companies you've worked for, or even just your years of experience, you need to incorporate at least one of those elements into your proposals, but ideally 3 or more, right? And just think about it from the client's perspective. If you got 2 proposals, which one would you rather message? The one with no experience and no social proof, or the one that says they have 20 plus years of experience and they've worked with Starbucks, Microsoft, and Netflix, right? The choice is pretty obvious. That being said, if you don't have any social proof, that's totally fine, and there are 2 ways that you can overcome this. Number 1, you can go really in depth and talk in detail about your process, right? So do you like to start projects with a kickoff call, with an onboarding form? Is there some other process you go through, right? Talk in depth about that process and what that looks like, because that makes clients assume that you have lots of experience, right? Because they make the assumption that if you have a very standardized process, that you have at least some sort of experience. And number 2 is that you can put a major emphasis on principle number 3, which is personalization. Your proposals need to be personalized, especially if you lack social proof. If you lack social proof, the best way to make up for that is with hyper personalized proposals. And I mean 3 to 5 sentences of intense personalization, right? If they mention their company's name in the job description, research their company, find their website, and again, submit a hyper personalized proposal to that job. When I signed my first client on Upwork, it was because the job description mentioned their app and their company name in the job description. And so I pulled up my phone, I downloaded their app from the App Store, I played around with it for 10 or 15 minutes, became a user, and then wrote a hyper personalized proposal that talked about my experience using their app. If you already have social proof, then we still need to personalize our proposals to some extent, but the process needs to be scalable, right? And so it's a fine line to walk, because we still need to personalize these proposals so that they convert better. But at the same time, as we get more and more clients, we're gonna get busy. And so this process needs to be easy to scale. So here are the 2 things that we do at my company to personalize our proposals at scale. So the first thing is we always find the job poster's first name and we include it in our proposal. So we always start our proposals with, hey, first name, or dear first name. And the second thing is we write a personalized first sentence, right? And so obviously that is based on the job description. So our first line of our proposals looks like, hey, first name, I'm confident I can help you with, and then we talk a little bit about what they wrote in the job description. That's easy, it's scalable, and it's simple. The fourth principle to every winning proposal on Upwork is that they use an email format. Now I can promise you this, nobody, absolutely nobody wants to read your 1,000 word essay of a proposal, right? Like we already covered, these proposals are designed to pique the client's interest, get them to your profile, and get them to send you a message. So ours are typically between 200 and 300 words. They're simple, they are well spaced, they don't have grammatical errors in them, we use shorter paragraphs, and overall, they're very unintimidating and easy to read. Now, I've spent over $30,000 myself hiring contractors and employees on Upwork. I've reviewed thousands of proposals, and I can guarantee you that most proposals I see look like shit. They're terrible, they're big, clunky paragraphs, they have lots of grammatical errors in there, and as soon as you open them up, you can tell that they're awful. And so obviously we want to avoid that. Our proposals should be easy to read, well spaced out, they should have no grammatical errors in them, and overall, they should be very unintimidating. The fifth principle to every winning proposal on Upwork is that they have a clear call to action. Now again, this is where most people go wrong. And if we think about this from the client's perspective, if a client posts a job on Upwork, these jobs often get 30, 40, or even 50 proposals being submitted to them. And so if a client posts a job and they're reviewing all the proposals, they might read one, click on the next one, read the next proposal, click on the next one, and we want to interrupt that pattern, right? We want them to click on our proposal, read the entire thing, read our call to action, and then click on our profile and send us a message. And so we should have one simple, clear call to action at the end of our proposal. And my personal favorite is to say this: I'd love to learn more about you and your project. Is there a time this week or next that you're free for a 25-minute Zoom call? Right? It's clear, it's concise, and it gets people to message us. And there you have it. Those are the 5 principles to every single winning proposal on Upwork. And so I can guarantee you that if you implement these steps, you're going to get more views, more messages, and you're going to close more clients on Upwork. And if you're interested in having me and my in-house team execute on these 5 principles for you, feel free to book a meeting with me using the link below.